that Team Spirit did, or that that PSG.LGD did to deal with that Magnus versus Team Spirit. But I think that LGD, they've covered themselves having a secondary kind of hero that pops off and goes absolutely crazy, that isn't as volatile as perhaps a Tusk that can scale super hard. But we'll see how it all goes down. Because I think if things get a little crazy towards late game, wait a second for that.
This is what you were talking about earlier. If you send all of the heroes down bottom to try and cut trees, and they show up before you.
When you're playing versus Tree and Protector, this is the specialty. People look at your pubs. You see Tree in the safe lane, everyone go down, 5-man that lane. It's never going to work because people don't listen in pubs. But, you know, you want to cut down these trees. You want to try to set yourself up for the successful laning phase versus it. But going back to what I was saying, I think if they can cause enough havoc and, like, just get to, like, super late game, then perhaps that's where this Invoker and Magnus and Drow can scale really hard, but then you're also playing versus Tinker in these late games and is super scaling Lina. And I like the point that T made about the repositioning. Drow, not the same as a Morphling where it's like RP hits and the Morphling is just on top of the target already, right? Drow is a lot more difficult to be able to get that kind of positioning. And if you looked at the bans from LGD, they took out Void, they took out Slark, they took out Morphling, they took out all these heroes that can jump and follow up with the Magnus to burst and kill this Lina. So for me, I think LGD have fixed the little bit of a problem that they had in that first game that we saw Xtreme Gaming take. But let's see how it all goes, because JT, he was a boss on the Magnus. Can he do it again? That's going to be the question.
Right, and like you're saying, he maybe can do it again in terms of finding those perfect initiations, but it might not be the team there to back him up with it. That is also somewhere where, you know, kind of the Invoker can catch back up in the late game as well, because if you find a big RP, if maybe he has a refresher even on the mag, then you're starting to think about Cataclysm plays, things like that. But I mean, there's just something about nothing to say Tinker, you know?
Yeah.
Think back to Game 3 of TI-10 and how much he was able to get done. They even made a little special SFM about him hitting some PA. This guy is something special when it comes to this hero.
And he's got great tools around himself with it. The Brewmaster in particular, you're able to just like pour down these Brewlings at, you know, I think level 2, the level 2 ults. So you're able to put so much pressure on map, but let's see how the lane goes as well too. This can sometimes be a pretty difficult one for the Invoker. So let's see how Paparazzi does.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch because, you know, this is the thing that's interesting, right? Is in these Game 3s, obviously not as high stakes as like the matches that we saw last night out of Europe, where it's if you lose, you're not going to the major. But it could be one of those things for this team. We sometimes see these games going later, and so we're thinking about like, okay, what's the late game fight's going to look like and all the rest of that. But if LGD just kind of stomp coming out of the lanes, it might not matter anyways.
Yeah, they might not be able to get to that point. And I'm going to keep looking at mid because the reason I'm talking about this Invoker versus Tinker matchup is a lot of these heroes you pick when you have the when you see the Tinker, you're able to CS and last hit with like some type of spell when you get lasered. Invoker can't do that. Your mana pool is quite limited. You can't just spam Tornado every single time. So I think it gets kind of difficult for this Invoker as levels come out.
Right, they can get the constant spam coming in.
Yeah.
And of course, they will have that bottle ready. Paparazzi going to need to try and do some rune control here. Maybe even getting some help from his teammates. But yeah, already the denies coming out. Nothing to say, ready to take full advantage.
Yeah, I mean, you just laser him and then just go for denies. And there's, you have to use Tornado to get last hits, but look at the mana pool from Paparazzi. So completely nothing to say. He's got his bottle already. And I think he's going to start pulling quite ahead in the lane. Unless we see a lot of help coming out for Paparazzi. Like,
God, yeah, this is really tough already. 8-4 versus 7-0, and those levels so important for Invoker playing this Quas Wex. He's going to need to make stuff happen.
Yep. So looking at these side lanes also, I mean, Shiro is crushing it down bottom already, 12-5 versus this Rubik and Magnus. But similar concept of last time, where there's going to be repositioning under tower and stuff like that, but they've gone for more type of scaling coming out even from their 5 position. They have this Tree Protector, which we've seen with Lina. It's the end-all, be-all. It's the absolute best. The Undying is still good to be able to scale because how strong Tombstone is, but, I mean, Tree, we've seen how broken this hero really is, getting picked even first pick so many times.
Right.
Just give armor to the Lina, you have so much protection, and you have late game with Overgrowth, which is BKB piercing.
And of course, if you're standing still, if they've got you under control in that Overgrowth, Lina, Tinker, they will rip you to shreds. And already sitting top of those CS charts, we're going to have to see some movements around eventually, but like you talked about, the movements in towards mid, it could be a little bit tough because you've got the Undying, right? Like, what's he going to do mid? Drop a Tombstone? I don't think that's really going to be an issue.
It's going to have to be Rubik, who kind of like looks to make moves around the mid lane to help secure some of these these runes or even potentially try to go for kills. But yeah, already seeing 2 lanes really in favor of the side of PSG.LGD. We are seeing top getting slowed down a decent amount, but that'll start getting better for the Brew. They're playing versus Undying, so the first levels is always really, really hard.
Yeah, they have gotten some pretty good denies out there trying to force him back, but you can see that Hoodwink almost as many last hits as the Brewmaster. Feeling like that hero could even scale a little bit, to be honest. Position 4 Planet, he's been able to have pretty good impact. Game number 1 was obviously a little bit off the mark with the Weaver, but definitely set up for some amount of success here.
Yep, Paparazzi getting some nice little denies here.
Yeah, he's actually been able to recover from that early tough start pretty well.
Yeah, 16-5 to 16-6. Very nice.
And Laser comes out. We'll get the denies immediately, but we'll be able to save that tornado for the range creep. Doesn't even need it there.
Doesn't need it. Yeah, just gets it with an attack. Very nice. Paparazzi. Good stuff.
You know, this guy does play Invoker quite well.
Yes. yes.
One of the heroes he's very well known for. Lift, try and get some separation there between him and Shiro, and will be able to do just that. But this pull is going to go on somewhat uncontested as Planet chasing back DY. Can't do anything else there.
Yeah, top lane will start getting better and better for the Brewmaster as these levels do come out. Still not easy, of course, though. Ghosts will be able to have this total free farm, it seems like. But they'll get these levels, and that's more than anything what matters for Brew.
Yeah, likely going to be able to set up for a kill, but the K! DY barely living through that one. That was super close.
Planet playing extremely aggressive, and now DY, he probably has to go suicide or walk back to base. So maybe this is the moment where LGD can try to get a little bit of pressure onto Ghost. Still difficult, though. Yeah, DY suiciding. Taking some time, though. Small Satyrs.
It's like, come on, guys. Take me out now.
He's like, all right, I'm going to the hard camp.
I'm
It's
done
taking
with
way
you.
too long. Come here, big Satyr. Oh, it's not hitting him. There we go.
Oh, my God. He's getting body blocked by the small ones.
So 20 seconds where he's going to be gone. And they are making the move toward mid lane. PYW does want to set up for this 6 minute and maybe go for a kill attempt. They have the urn finished up on Paparazzi, so maybe they try something onto Nothing to Say here.
And this is where it actually matters that it took a little while for Undying. They could have maybe had him come in for mid too.
He's going to be up in time maybe to just TP in, though. Let's see.
If they decide to do that, indeed.
He is coming mid. Yeah, they really want to secure this rune. They will just send the Tinker back to base, so PSG.LGD, they're like, all right, they bring 3 heroes mid to secure the rune. I'm just going to fill bottle like this.
And it's going to be down bottom, a illusion rune, but with the tombstone down, Planet going to be chased, going to get punched.
Zombies.
Going after him, and DY. That's first blood at 6 minutes.
Nicely done. Good double rotation.
And still standing tall in that bottom lane, Shiro has been able to get away with another Lina pick, which we talked about, but nice pull GT behind the tower to secure some last hits for himself.
Yeah, and getting the urn charge, very important. So Paparazzi, they have potential for rotations, potential for kill threats, still onto Nothing to Say. But still top of net worth, this Lina and Tinker.
Do you feel like it's going to be one of those moments where, as this Quaswex Invoker, he has to get active around the map, make some plays happen?
Yes. I think if you sit mid, you're just going to have this happen, where you just get spammed from the rockets and spammed from lasers. They did, so the other move that DY did immediately was, we'll wait that for a second. DYW, he'll be okay. After he gets the kill, he immediately walks into Ancients and tries to block them, because that's the strat, of course, with Tinker. You get these crazy stacks up, so the Tinker's enabled with laser to farm, but it gets instantly dewarded. So they've taken care of that on the side of PSG.LGD to make sure that Nothing to Say gets those stacks and gets that blink at an early timing.
And speaking of stacks, Shiro also getting a couple of ones there in his own jungle. So they're building up to have this duo core be incredibly strong. And you have to imagine that, considering they already went to try and block out the Ancients on Xtreme, that they're going to probably get some vision down there and try and contest with the Invoker when Tinker does go to try and take them.
Yeah, absolutely. Level 6 on Ghost. Gonna be able to do a great amount of damage onto this Brewmaster.
Yeah, that one's pretty nice right there.
Be okay for now, though. DY now? He's all right.
Eats the tree. And pull back. So this rotation for Paparazzi, that's going to be another urn charge picked up for him.
Nice moves. This is the way he's got to play. He's got to be pretty active. He's queued up the Midas, so wants to be able to get that scaling potential, as we know. Xtreme is trying to take the game to later stages. Is that going to work this game like they made it work last time versus the duo scaling of PSG.LGD?
That's tough to know. DY. Oh, he drops the tombstone here.
DY.
Planet shows up, but Ghost nearby. This is actually kind of interesting because now they have vision over all these stacks. Paparazzi shows up. DY's still there. They get the kill before his 6, and Planet gonna get beaten down. Nothing to say. Cancels his TP. They realize now that they can maybe go onto him.
Ghost is here.
Chasing. They've got vision. Paparazzi right on top. This is a huge moment for XG. Nothing to say. Tries to TP out of there, but it's not gonna happen. They kill off DY, but now they have a pretty nice little window here. Xtreme Gaming.
Great moves. I mean, putting so much emphasis on just making sure that Paparazzi has this explosive start. Don't know if they can steal too many of these stacks. I don't think they can steal any at all, actually. So, nice rotations, though. This is beautiful. I love that Ghost even gets involved to walk in here with Paparazzi. Have to make sure that they enable this Invoker to have this type of start to slow down the Tinker.
I mean, obviously, you would love... Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Level 6. He's got to run. And Ghost moving in. Yeah, DY can just force him back. I mean, do you think that it's kind of like imperative that LGD finish off these stacks? Like,
Yes.
if they get them stolen, how bad is that?
It's completely detrimental to the Tinker. They have to do it right now, so nothing to say. Smokes up. The strat, smoke plus just laser it. Doesn't pull aggro, of course. They'll finish that off in no time. And that's going to be his blink.
Okay.
We'll have that protection, but a really good early game for Xtreme. 5-1. Magnus is farming bottom. Drow's having free farm, and Invoker's getting these successful kills, so really nice plays.
They're trying to show up, and it looks like they are going to be a little bit late to make this play onto the Ancients, but they drop another Tombstone.
They're going to be able to take the hard camp, though, perhaps.
Yeah, this is really good.
This is huge.
XG, they don't manage to shut down the Ancients, but they do move on in, take this hard camp. Blink Dagger's done for Tinker, but this would have been another huge boon for him.
This is massive, though. This is huge deny away from that Tinker. And there's still no level 6 on Brewmaster, so PSG.LGD can't contest just yet to go for it.
I mean, this is the thing, right? It's a scary strat from
Ghost.
LGD as Ghost gets the TP out of there.
Nice TP. The second that the Brew hits 6, he shows in lane and just instantly TPs out. Really well played. XG, they're playing this early game near perfectly.
Well, this is what I was going to say, is that it feels like, obviously, LGD's strat is incredibly strong. It's got a ton of damage potential for it and, like, early scaling potential, late game scaling potential. But it also, you know what they're going to do. You know those stacks are going to be there, and Xtreme have put forward the perfect answers.
Yeah, and theirs is going to be a bit more up to execution on the side of XG, but we saw JT able to get that execution last time with his key RPs, so still looking good for them. Still, even though it's 6-1, we are seeing with the way that PSG.LGD has set up the lanes, they still actually are slightly ahead in the gold.
Yeah. Well, this catapult does some extra damage as DY tries to keep the damage off of his tier 1, but it won't happen. And in fact, with Planet moving in and having level 6.
Oh, he missed the bushwhack though.
Oh, DY gets the TP out of there.
Beautiful.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Very nicely done. Bottom. Trying to get some push of their own on XG, but the reverse Tinker tree. Not easy.
God, this is going to be so annoying to play against.
They've done these great moves early game, though, so they've set themselves up to success to be able to try to catch Tinker and get the scaling. Paparazzi, his Midas is done. So, you know, the threat of them scaling, getting that Cataclysm is definitely real. He fights. Nothing to say.
That is huge. No mana, and they missed the one, the Shockwave. JT, he has that mech, but already using the skewer.
See you later.
That was such a big moment for them, and it doesn't look like it's going to end up, well, salvaging it. Okay.
The RP to survive.
And
that'll work.
It's not bad.
Okay.
They decide to come back in with more. I mean, Tinker went mid, so yeah, they're just going to be able to get that lift up and then retreat away again.
That's cool. Okay. He's like, you brew ult IRP. Sure. Okay. Thought he was going to go down and just not use it, but nicely done, JT.
Can't believe how close that was to killing the Tinker.
Yeah, that was very... If he catches the Shockwave, perhaps he does. Is now Brew.
Stolen Cinder Brew. Chase is there with the Tombstone. DY has been getting so much done on this Undying.
Yep. And they get that Tornado secure. DY gets the last hit. Great aggressive moves, though. Continuing to make these early rotations, making space for the Drow. 3 cores, 5k net worth. Brewmaster far behind, not able to get a kill with that first Brew ult. So pretty damn good so far from XG.
Yeah. And I think that, you know, if you're looking at this game, it feels like at the very least it's not going to be decided in that early timing that we were talking about, where, you know, you could maybe just get rolled over by the early aggression coming out from that Tinker. But probably around this next set of items, we're going to see some more fighting going on. JT has already finished off the mech like we talked about, and almost has that Blink Dagger completed.
Yeah, he's huge. They had stacks also set up for him, and yeah, they're going to start finishing them off themselves. So I think they have like a triple ancient stack still to go back if he wants to be the one to clear it with Drow. Pushing towers, though, is going to be the difficult part. They can look to take fights early on, especially with that Blink, but yeah, these towers versus Tinker versus Tree, they have to get the Tinker if they want to go for them. But still, 7-1, and now they've gotten the position to claim gold lead, and now Blink's done, so they can maybe get these kills and then go for tower push after that.
I mean, the problem is still going to be how you find that Tinker in the mid game.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's sort of weird. It feels like at some point you might even like try and build into that Cataclysm and just use it for vision, potentially, even if you know that Tinker is somewhere, but he's so quick at being able to blink out after that it might not even matter.
It's mostly about just the tornado, right? He
Yeah.
has to land the tornado to be able to find the Tinker in tree lines for the most part. And yeah, they're looking with this Blink Dagger on JT. They want to try to get a kill and push into this tower. Will they find something, though?
A deep ward over here spots Planet.
Okay.
Whoop. And don't quite manage to get him on there with the vision.
Not wanting to really go for this. Shiro, though!
Whoa, big find. And Shiro in some trouble. The Shockwave pulls him back in. Couple more punches. Tornado lift up, dispelling the armor. Isn't enough damage. He gets it off, and yeah, will drop. Paparazzi pairing together with the rest of them to get that kill. Is going invis. Gets killed off there. And JT pops that mech too.
Paparazzi sneaking away. The snipe!
My God.
The Rubik snipe catches Planet, almost hitting the Tinker. As Paparazzi, he'll get away scot-free. The RP, that deep ward, it's gonna get taken away, but worth it. They get the kill onto the Lina.
Yeah, that's a key one. I mean, you can see, nothing to say, you can feel the sort of power of stealing those stacks away from him now. A little bit below that Invoker in terms of the net worth, and Invoker having the Midas done. But it's still very much that Lina that could make that runaway potential, and shutting down her farm, key moments.
Yeah, lets the Drow just continue getting a little bit of, like, maybe almost the same net worth, which is impressive to say for a Drow versus Lina. But great moves. I mean, XG, they have a great idea, and they definitely have like planned out this timings in the early game in their heads, and they're executing it very nicely so far.
Coming up with solutions. They had a lot of reserve time for that last pick to figure out what they wanted to run. And playing around this Invoker, his tornadoes have been very clutch. And on the side of LGD, I mean, the story remains the same. Defend towers, try and move in the Tinker whenever you need to, and get Shiro as farmed as he can possibly get.
Yeah, taking objectives is still going to be the question, at least for me, for XG, is how they're going to be able to take any of these towers. It's going to have to be out of some big fights. It's Paparazzi. I mean, Boots of Travel, Bots, Bots Midas, he's going to be able to move around the map and follow this Tinker constantly. So
set up on him, maybe. Wards down for both teams.
Snipe.
DY in some trouble, drops his tombstone, and that sets up for maybe some fights coming out the other way. Planet drops. Ghost the one that gets the last touch. DY. Oh, yeah, that Tinker is going to be a scary one all game.
Yeah, especially if there's any vision always. So they'll be able to take out that ward right away. Be safe. I mean, they're moving as a unit, but still keeping themselves up with this farm. It's impressive.
Yeah. I mean, you're still seeing that Lina top of the net worth, but jockeying with position with the Drow.
Yeah.
And it really is this Brood that just hasn't been able to find any place in this game, it feels like.
No. It's not the easiest one for him, because when he commits in, we see now how much they're able to just disengage from it, right? They can just pop an RP even on it to get that disengage.
Well, could be a big storyline for this game is, can Jiangyu make the plays happen on this Brew? Can he get into some more gold? Wondering what he's even going to try and get to scale. The plus side, of course, is that you're going to still see Tree probably have a really good game on this sort of split out the map, try and keep towers alive type of play.
They've given him so much farm priority. He's just been chilling bottom. He has Blink. So this could be pretty big for them to get the jumps forward to catch where this Drow's positioning is. His Planet.
Hunting, finding.
They'll find him.
And yeah, PYW going to get dropped in a moment. So they find another kill defending their tower.
And Tinker getting closer and closer to these big explosive items, the Shivas. He now has level 2 rearm too, so Brew split, he can just TP on it and constantly look for these plays around the map also as DY spotted. They wanted to go for Paparazzi, but might just settle for DY.
And does get the tombstone on the
He's
bit of
still
the high
alive.
ground, staying alive there. Tinker should be able to shoot him down to death, but maybe not.
Nope.
Don't have the vision.
The cloak. I mean, this casual cloak from DY has now saved him twice versus this magic damage. Really nicely done. He broke the smoke too, right? They were actually looking at Paparazzi in the mid lane. They were going to perhaps full commit onto him, and DY is the one who tanks it.
Well, it is still, I think, LGD feeling very comfortable with their positioning, but now defense matrixing Shiro and going to take that mid tower. So they're staying up on the objectives. Obviously, for Xtreme, you can't take any unless you find a good fight.
Yeah.
But this defense matrix is going to also be super annoying to deal with. That status resistance against the mag.
Also later stages too. It's once you get that, I mean, this is later on, of course. And we're probably going to get to this point, though, in this game. It's level 20, right, on the Tinker. The defense matrix cooldown reduction, one of the more insane talents, in my opinion. Throw it onto like 3-4 people in team fights. Everyone just has like a free Octarine. So we're probably going to get to that point with the way the whole pace of this game is going.
It definitely feels like it. So nothing to say. Spamming out these lasers. Going to clear out another stack of Ancients. And the smoke up for Xtreme. They want to make a move.
Ooh.
They want to try and get some type of objective, and it's
They're gonna
Rosh.
rush. This is nice.
Wow.
It's going to die too fast, I think, for LGD to make it over there. Yeah, they buy even the shard on the Drow too early.
They move in. There
the
is
scan.
already the scan, and Planet checking it out, but can they get it in time? Why you smile?
Oh.
Overgrowth's nothing. Primal
What
split,
the-
nothing. They're not there, sirs. Uh-oh.
Okay, a little bit awkward there from the two ults.
And I think they can go back in. I mean, the only thing that would have been used is going to be the tombstone.
I mean, that's quite a blunder there from PSG.LGD.
That is really rough.
Oh, blinks in and grabs the haste right in front of him. But yeah, XG can just walk back in. Two ults wasted.
All right, can they fight this, though, after? JT, he doesn't want to be the first one get jumped on.
They're still scared of the spam.
Yeah, it's really spooky.
Okay, so they'll be a little reluctant here. Still have to stick in the area. Has nothing to say. He's finishing up the Shivas.
I mean, we think back again to that Rosh fight that we saw, I think it was in game number 2 or what have you, where it was XG finding the win, but then LGD coming out on top afterwards. It can happen so quickly.
Yeah, you have to be careful. There's still... the fact that you're not going to be able to take advantage of Brutal and Triot, though, is quite nice, I would say, for PSG.LGD. Like, completely whiffing it and not getting punished. And now Shivas is done, so explosive damage going to be coming from nothing to say. If they're able to like keep the distance and he just gets like a couple of these off with rockets, heroes are just going to detonate.
Yeah, no pipe yet done online for any of these heroes. And it's going to be a while before anything like that comes up. You can see that PYW and DY both trying to build into Glimmer Capes.
They do have a protective tool, though, for Ghost now. He's got Hurricane Pike already done. Keeping up with the net worth of the Lina.
Yep.
It's really good. Very close game here. Neck and neck. 2K lead now for XG.
Doing just a little bit better farming across the map and keeping these 3 cores looking good.
Yeah, and getting themselves a lot of defensive items, right? They have the Force Staff, the mech on JT, as you mentioned. They're going for multiple Glimmers on the supports. They have the Hurricane Pike on Drow, who also found a Grow Bow, by the way, of course.
Oh, yeah.
So, great stuff for Ghost, level 15.
Well, in 20 seconds until Brult is back up again, JT needs to be careful with his positioning here. They run into one. Okay, he blinked in right as they're going for it. Now the skewer down to the low ground. DY has already thrown out a zombie house. And now, can they get out okay on LGD? Ghost looking to chase this down a bit. They smoke forward, want to find a couple. Why you smile? In trouble.
Sunstrike.
Sunstrike, that's going to be enough for the kill. Can they go for more?
Look at JT. They're already getting the flank position on this Magnus down below.
Looks for it, tries to find it. Zhang Yu is just going to get the hell out of there.
Oh, they're expecting to run into perhaps like the Lina or Tinker right here.
Yeah, but won't go for it. But that sets up now they can take Rosh.
Yeah, now they should be able to get it.
And DY popping the ulti means he can take, JT can stay further out.
We say they should be able to get it. LGD is aware of this.
JT, he blinks
won't make
back. Shiro. Oh, the RPUs!
Uh-oh.
Needs to get out of there. BKB run, trying to escape. LSA stolen, but PYW in trouble, trying to get out. Ghost, Force Staff up to the high ground. It's evacuate for XG. Get the hell out of here before Shiro tears you apart. And in the end, they're only going to lose the 2 supports.
Ooh, a little bit of anti-synergy. RP plus Tornado. Whoopsie. JT laughs anyway. He's
how
like,
it goes.
whoopsie. But we got the rush. We got the Aegis, and we got out, just losing the supports there. So all things considered, pretty decent there for XG. Just gotta, be careful of this anti-synergy. Whoopsie.
That's how it goes sometimes.
And important to point out also, didn't get to say this before, but Shiro is maxing stun. So we are going to be, we've seen a lot of these Linas just go 1-1-4 when you are playing versus Rubik. This max stun maybe could be something we have to look out for PYW if he's able to get his hands on it.
That's interesting. I hadn't heard that before. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's almost like we say it every single game now, right? Hey, it's important to point out.
It is.
We have seen Liquid, right? Liquid in particular, they're the ones that I feel like we saw Insania. The two supports sometimes just completely decimate games because we saw people be like, whoops, I maxed the Light Strike array. So we'll have to keep our eyes out to see if that does happen because this spell is crazy if you're able to get it on Rubik.
Particularly with the freaking RP in this game.
Yeah?
Like, you get one catch there and suddenly you're just stunned for forever and Ghost is going to go to town. That could be a really rough series of events for him.
Yeah. We'll see how it all goes.
And you can see that for Nothing to Say, recognizing the danger at this point in time in the game, is going to be going for a BKB next on the Tinker.
Has to protect himself versus this control and versus Tornado. Sunstrike off the mark, but not needed. Good steal. They've got living armor now too.
Dude, everything's coming together for Xtreme. This is a huge game for them.
Yeah.
Because again, like, keeping in mind what this sort of series means, they're trying to hold off against EHOME trying to come in and take their spot.
This can cause crazy tiebreaker kind of status to be able to push them toward that top 4.
Be a huge win for Xtreme.
Yeah, I think if LGD wins and there's some other scenarios, we could have like a 3-way tie for first place
Right.
kind of style happen. And I think if the other scenario happens, we could have like a 2- or 3-way tie for the slot to go into the major. So yeah, massive game really for both sides. More so for Xtreme just to get there.
Yeah, making sure they can secure that spot against him. So Tombstone cooldown for the Undying. DY has had a really good game.
Yeah, he has Glimmer, I believe, done too. I think both supports getting close to having it. The RP catch the broom.
One. That's decent, and that should set up for them to take this tower, although already moving into position. The rest of LGD is nearby. Ghost trying to punch away at this. Tombstone has already been used, but the spam is going to come out. Nothing to say. Hard to play against. The Tornado missing onto 2, but they get the tower.
Good kill. Finally get themselves that objective to open up the map a little bit here. JT, always on point here with his Magnus.
Yeah, he is really just should play this more.
I'm actually gonna lie. He's played it so much.
I
It feels
know.
like for them, right? I think he's played it like 5 times or something. Let's take a look. I'm gonna quickly check it out.
Paparazzi playing in the same area right now is Nothing to Say, but until he gets that Blink Dagger, it's going to be rough to try and find him.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3.
Couple games?
This is his 5th game. Yeah.
All right.
Nice. 5th
Oh,
game is the
Shiro?
Magnus. Shiro.
Why you smile?
It's a big one.
Overgrowth. They're moving on to all of them.
Uh-oh.
Time to get out of here. That's already Aegis down.
The Drow.
In a ton of trouble. Ghost pops the BKB, immediately TPs away.
Nicely done. I think just got BKB. Literally seconds before that it comes out. I think the courier literally delivered it. Yeah, the courier had just delivered it onto her. Otherwise, that would have been perhaps just the quick turnaround for PSG.LGD to take over this game. So lucky for Ghost that he does survive there.
Yeah, in the end, it only ends up being supports going down because the Aegis had about a minute left on it at that point. So definitely not the end of the world for Xtreme, but showing the danger if you do get your positioning just a little bit messed up in these fights.
Yeah, and literally saved because of just split-second courier delivery for Ghost. And level 18, though, this Drow continues to keep up with Shiro. They're the same net worth and same level.
The Aeon Disc was completed for the Brew, and going into Aghanim Scepter next.
Yeah, all he really has to do is just get the split off to be able to get that that spacing for his Lina and Tinker. He's been having a really tough game, 0, 3, and 4 on this Brew that they opened up with.
It's one of the heroes he's most well known for as well.
It's not an easy one with the way that Paparazzi's been playing, right? 2, 0, and 8. He's been involved in almost every single kill for them.
And you can see, at least, I'm assuming that we might see something similar coming out from the Tinker, but Paparazzi going immediately into the Hex afterwards. Wants that, like, immediate control, chance to blow up the Tinker.
Yeah, probably Hex. Hex, I honestly, I'm still fine with Hex like Refresher or Hex Aghanims if he wants to go something along that line. He's got a lot of variety he can go for, but Hex, I think, is amazing versus Tinker. You catch pre-BKB and he's just dead. Any type of control.
That is Aeon disprocced.
Okay.
So they have a window now where they can punish this brew. God, that feels so bad for him.
He's going to have one of his other... He's going to have the tree just jump in and start the fight so that he can get the split off. Otherwise, very likely to just die. JT? Showing himself for a second here. XG?
Yeah, they throw it down and immediately blinks back.
It's quick. They're so ready for these jumps. JT on... I mean, he is so ready today.
Play. Gets found. Tornado with the gust. A little bit weird there. Has to pop it now. And Ghost not popping his own BKB, but the jump in comes out, and now they're in trouble. They won't be able to BKB TP out of there. Ghost gets away for a moment, but the overgrowth is there. But the save comes out. GA, do they have enough? Ghost is going to go down. And yeah, the turn was there.
They were. Look how fast they all got there. All 5 heroes from XG immediately to help out their buddy. And now they'll get the brew.
Oh, man. That one is frustrating. JT moved in, had that mech for the save after the overgrowth, and they had already used everything. And now they find another. Pull back onto planet. That's going to be another pickoff there. 3 heroes going down.
Holy moly. They are so quick with how they rotated. And the way they like protected each other too. Ghost was patient with his BKB, like pump faking with the root there on Innocence on a Y, and he still holds the BKB until perfect timing. And then they steal it. So PYW for next fight also has overgrowth to control through these BKBs. XG is playing out of their minds. That movement is insane how quick they got on top of helping out their buddy.
Ready to push down this bottom lane now with the double Forge Spirits. JT even looking for another hero there if anybody was coming in. It's a little bit early as well, Shiro does make the move over, but PYW, does he want to go for that overgrowth play? Doesn't look like it.
Such good coverage. Force Staff, Glimmer Capes, everything to protect these cores.
The one thing that I will say is that when XG show up with numbers, we've been seeing LGD pull their 2 cores out of the fight. You know, Lina, Tinker, they're not sticking around. I wonder what these fights look like. If they are there, they're willing to sort of stand tall as Shiro and stay in the fight, because she's getting close to Satanic.
Yeah, for Shiro, it's definitely going to be more explosive, but it's really difficult, really, for nothing to say. Like, yeah. He pops BKB, has to pop it defensively, and then kind of just has to run, because if he gets caught in... It's the same thing always for Tinker. If you get caught by almost any disable, you're just dead, especially those BKB piercing ones, so... I mean, Xtreme, I'm so impressed with how fast they're reacting to the movements. I mean, still having that bottom, tier 1 bottom is pretty much what opened up the opportunity to make sure that they can protect that Drow.
Yeah, nothing to say. Trying to play down here and push out these waves as quickly as possible. Nice smile nearby him. They are bringing in more heroes. But yeah, he gets the TP out before it becomes too much of an issue.
This overgrowth could cause problems. Still on the Rubik. Still has it stolen for a couple more moments. And now we see Paparazzi, level 20's been hit. So, I mean, his damage is insane as well, too. If those BKBs aren't active, we have level 20 Chaos Meteor with max Exort.
He is a monster.
Yeah, nothing to say. Very aggressive jump forward.
Tombstone down, breaking blinks, and XG keeping themselves alive. The wrap is coming from Jiangyu.
He is deep.
Able to dodge the gust, pops the ulti, gets it off, TP in from Tinker, but the BKB has to run away, finds JT, breaking his Blink Dagger again. Getting some separation. He does have that Ogre Seal Totem.
They're not finding anything, though. That's a brew split forced again, and XG able to disengage perfectly. It's been the story of the game for them, perfectly choosing every single battle.
It has been really impressive to watch Xtreme Gaming this series. Yeah. They have looked incredibly good at various points.
I mean, JT is just a beast, really.
Yeah.
Like, he's got RP ready, too, for this next fight. There's no brew split.
Lotus done, too, so even if they do go into that sheep stick, eventually for the Tinker, it's not going to be easy pickings. But this ward down and the rocket spam going to be frustrating to play against.
Yeah, no brew split, and they're still posturing aggressively on the side of PSG.LGD.
They just don't have that, like, heavy lockdown in the same way that JT does. They find Shiro, going to get the lift down to almost nothing, tries to turn, can't get anything.
He popped the BKB Satanic, but couldn't get any attacks off.
Was taken too long, and XG, they find their window. No Lina for 70, and this is set up to be another Roche for them.
Oh my god, it spawns perfect timing. JT, every single time he's finding this Lina.
Unreal. They move in, they take out the vision, and Ghost ready to go to town. They're going to see now that Roche is up, and I mean, giving up this second Aegis now, it feels so difficult to play against. Why you smile there, but they find Planet instead. Does get the bushwhack off onto him. Why you smile with the overgrowth. Tornado goes out just barely off the mark. This is all to try and keep their players alive, but Roche already down, and Ghost with the Aegis.
Oh, man.
Chasing, trying to find one. DYW gets healed up a little bit, but eventually does go down.
Ghost is finding, perhaps looking for a flank positioning, who's going onto the Ancient area. XG hit, and they hit hard. Every RP has been so impactful from JT. All these team fights, 8K gold lead. They're picking and choosing their battles perfectly, right? It's just XG playing this game beautifully.
I mean, in this one, it's not the same type of 4 Protect 1 as Paparazzi. Well, now has to just back away there. Ghost walk back up and gets the blink.
Look at Ghost, though. Looking for the flank.
A moment, finds him right away. Silence, Ghost Scepter, though. And that'll be enough to keep him alive.
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, and it's not a 4 Protect 1. They have this Invoker who's scaling like crazy, who's always going to be a big element of damage. And yeah, eventually can go for like Aghanim, so if they do land multi-hero RPs, everyone's just going to get deleted. So far, the game plan for Xtreme, it's working out again.
JT tries to step out and manages to get the TP away. Whoop. Last second before that bushwhack came out. Although, good chunk of damage now onto the Rubik. He's in trouble, but Jiangyu, he's in deep.
The Seal Totem.
He tries to get out of there, but the Meteor just barely away to keep him alive. A bushwhack there onto 2. XG, maybe they've gone a bit too far. Force the BKB. Shiro up on the high ground, finds the kill. Now Ghost trying to turn on Shiro. They're kind of going in 1 by 1 on Xtreme.
Yeah, and I think, was that the gem now finally taken? I think it was. Yeah, Planet, he's able to take that gem away from the supports. So, XG, this time, a little bit of some mistakes gets punished. LGD, level 21 on Lina. Tinker about to hit 20.
Does have that E-Blade done. And that's another interesting one, right? Because that's going to do so much damage against the Drow that based upon her stat damage could really decimate her.
And he's got 20 now, so we'll be able to have the talents picked up. He takes the Keen Complaints. Okay. So, I mean, it's. I guess he just doesn't feel like the other one's going to have as much. I always think that other one's broken. But this one makes his power much better. He's able to just constantly spam much harder, so.
More interested in that. Looking on those back lines here. See if he can find anybody. Ghost runs in. No man's land. Ghost completely isolated. That's Aegis down.
There's still a root available, too, for the BKB.
Need to be careful. DY moving into position. The BKB, it's already been used. The RP connection onto both. Ghost trying to get a little bit of separation. Shiro still living, but Ghost right on top of him. A couple more hits. The disarm is out, and they find the kill. Tinker gone as well. They baited out that Aegis perfectly. Why you smile? Why you dead?
JT, again, JT and Ghost pairing together, and Paparazzi, the disarm comes in during the Satanic. Can't get a single attack off. LGD thought they had a window there, but quickly gets turned on again. My God, JT.
Look at this moment right here.
Look at him.
Finds it onto the back. It was actually just the skewer. He didn't even get the RP onto Shiro, but it was enough.
Yep.
Too much damage coming out, and yeah, that disarm lasting right to the very end.
God, XG just delivering over and over again in these the first and third game. JT in particular, and Ghost just perfect positioning. Now DD plus Alacrity. Perhaps they can get themselves a Rax here.
Yeah, 25 seconds with no Tinker, and there is no damage left without them.
No.
If these 2 heroes are gone, I mean, they have nothing.
JT's hunting.
Looking for a moment there to find somebody, but Glyph will be used. Tier 3 tower going to drop as Ghost beats away at it. This DD about to expire, but guess what? They find somebody. Tree is gone. Wow.
Paparazzi's played this game impeccably. 5-0 and 13. I thought that PSG.LGD perhaps had answers with the way they adjusted their draft, but it doesn't seem like it. It seems like Xtreme, with this Magnus versus Alina, they know exactly how to play versus it. That's been them the whole game, just leading the way.
15,000 gold lead. As Tinker respawns, they will respect that counterplay that can happen, and we'll back out of there. Nothing to say. Still very much a problem if things go south. But Aghanim Scepter done now in the Brew. It just doesn't feel like it's going to do enough there. E-Blade done for the Tinker, which we talked about. He's queuing up the Hex.
If JT keeps finding these jumps, right, even without the RP landing the Lina, nothing's going to matter. Just keeps putting this Lina right into this most uncomfortable position possible, right in front of a Drow and Invoker.
And what's crazy to me about that is, like, think about all those little poke and prod and types of things that could mess up his Blink Dagger. You know, you've got Nature's Grasp, you've got everything from Tinker, I mean, random little acorn shots bouncing around. He doesn't have a BKB. He's got 4 staff and a Blink, and, I mean, this Lotus is doing a lot as well, but...
I mean, it's just his positioning, the way that he's able to get the lineup every single time. LGD. 2 times now, having to play, you know, giving up that Rosh, right? Giving up the Aegis these 2 times has been pretty detrimental to them, and XG just been the ones dictating every single fight, it feels like, except for like one little slip up. Everything's been their way. And Paparazzi's actually just gonna go Octarine, so more spells to spam. Better way to take long extended team fights.
As LGD holding hands down bottom and waiting for a fight that's not gonna happen. Witchbane picked up. So more and more ways to do this crazy amounts of damage. Get the Dispel on him too.
Yep, Dispel the Aeon Disc in particular, right? So if they can catch the Brewmaster, Dispel the Aeon Disc, and just focus fire him, more things. I mean, more buttons for JT,
right?
But he's been making it work beautifully, even if he has all these.
So 39 minutes in, an Octarine core now completed for the Invoker, and going into the overwhelming Blink next.
Still just so impressed with their execution. The way that they're disengaging, picking every single one of their battles that they won. And Paparazzi doesn't get the initial hex.
Holy moly.
Tough anyway. I think the defense matrix was already precasted. Has that ward down there, it's going to get taken away right away.
And they had 4 heroes behind him too, so
yeah.
It's going to be a tough one no matter what happened there.
Tried to go for a little bit of a crazy play.
Feeling himself, I think, is what they call that.
Yeah, 5-0 and 13. He's had, like we said, part of like 80%, 90% of the kills this game. Doing amazing. And now Drow, same as last time. Sure, you're not a Morphling for all that positioning, but Ghost positioning's been perfect, and now he has Scotty. So we're seeing the disarms come into play versus the Lina, and now this heal negation that's going to come out too. And now a refresher also on JT. So 2 rounds of that RP.
Big stuff.
Oh, baby.
Can
XG.
they make it happen here one more time?
They've been making it happen every time, so it feels like the answer is maybe, probably yes. But
walk up to high ground, and the little panda there. It's going to be found by Paparazzi. They take it down, still
JT?
keeping them invis. JT almost connects,
he's fishing.
but doesn't quite find him.
Any big neutral items being picked up. We saw a Timeless Relic for the Tinker, so a lot more damage. If nothing to say, is able to actually ever stand his ground and cast these spells constantly, but XG's not giving them the chances to. Anything else big? These are pretty, I mean, Ascetic Cap on JT for protection. PIW, he's found out, but JT!
Oh, the RP connects onto both of them, and that Tinker in a world of hurt. JT just brings him down to death. They find some more, yes they will,
God,
but
JT.
the buyback. Ghost right there needs to get away from Shiro. I mean, nothing to say,
Ghost.
there's no more RPs left. Ghost now in some trouble. LSA gonna connect, they take him down once. JT tries to get out of there, but the missile is gonna find him after.
Paparazzi.
And suddenly, I mean, Paparazzi, he needs to take down
Oh
Shiro. He's
my
so
God.
low, but it's not quite enough. The living armor to heal. Paparazzi under control, going to die. It was going so well. Oh
And
my
Rosh.
God.
Oh God, Rosh is up, and they don't have buybacks.
None of them have buybacks.
Oh God, the buyback from nothing to say. It's perfect.
Oh.
He protects Shiro as well. The defense matrix blocks the damage from the Sunstrike, every little thing. Oh my God, PSG.LGD. They find a perfect opportunity with these buybacks.
That is devastating.
Oh, we got to see this again.
Oh man, they found their mark, but once you use the refresher for the kill, it is too much. Ah, that one hurts.
Yep.
That's everything.
Instant buyback, and yeah, we'll see it again. Like the Ghost BKB starts wearing out, and he's like, oh my God, I gotta run, but nothing to say. Up on high ground. And we'll watch on the left side. Yes, Shiro versus Paparazzi, the battle that's going on in the meantime. Shiro drops to what? 100 HP or so, and then gets defense matrixed up, blocks, I believe, the Sunstrike damage. Even E-bladed afterwards so he can't get hit by zombies. Good God.
Oh, that was so good by nothing to say.
What a boss.
Runs completely out of mana by the end of it. And now, Refresher Lina, Aegis Tinker. I mean, the swing in gold, in experience, in everything.
Game's back to even.
I can't believe that just happened.
I mean, nothing to say sometimes on his Tinker, right? He just does these type of plays that's unbelievable. Like the literal perfect way that he can protect his Lina, right? The E-Blade to block zombie damage, Defense Matrix to block Sunstrike. What a boss. And now he's got this next explosive item too. Supports can't play. You've got this overwhelming Blink Shivas. Your supports just actually die in seconds.
I mean, you could see the Dota plus win probability switching as we are getting further and further into it. I think the big thing right now is Xtreme have to avoid a fight. Like, they need 2 RPs to make this work. And they have to be pretty good ones, I feel like. I don't know. This is tough.
It's all on JT, and he's been able to deliver, right? So well, maybe he can continue to do it, but yeah, he's got to be cautious about these buybacks, and especially now versus Aegis too. And now, so I was actually wondering if Shiro would do this last time when he was playing versus the Magnus and stuff, buying this Aeon disc. Right. He does it this time around, so now he has a way to at least protect himself since he doesn't have Aegis's supports.
Oh, PYW, they can't get into this fight right now. They're trying to make this work. Paparazzi pops his BKB. Planet in trouble. Starts to die. Sunstrike. It's not on the mark. A little bit rattled here.
They're making it happen.
Stuff.
JT.
I mean, there's nobody here to help him.
He's like, get me out of here.
Dude, I swear, like, these next couple of minutes, it's incredibly scary. Because obviously, Tinker doesn't have buyback, but there's this window where Xtreme... if they take a bad fight, it could all come crumbling down.
The game could just end. Yeah, they could just lose the game immediately. And they're playing into Aegis, so for JT, it's very difficult for him to get the catch-up. I feel like we've had some of the most exciting games in the last, like, 12 hours. Jesus Christ. We have the EU tiebreakers that are crazy 70-minute games. Now we get this delivery from both these teams.
Yeah, it was the Dawn Knights one. That was a nail-biter, too.
Hey, come on, don't believe. No, this is fantastic. I mean, there's nothing more you can ask for in these type of games. Super back and forth. XG leading and taking every perfect fight until one moment where LGD finds the moment to strike. And now they have double Aeon Disc, triple Aeon Disc on the cores, and they have this Aegis as a blanket.
We'll switch that in as soon as the Aegis does get reclaimed or claimed. But Xtreme in their base now. And we've swung back and forth, and now very much feeling like LGD have a foot in the door. Can they close this one out? For them, this would almost secure the going to the major for LGD, and for Xtreme, keeping their hopes alive and forcing things towards maybe some type of crazy tiebreaker scenarios. But they look in it, but immediately blink back. Can't find Planet.
Yeah, playing with the Blink Dagger in the tree lines to break smokes.
Shiro finds Paparazzi. Turn. Hex there. He's got the status resistance, though. Nothing to say on the low ground, and JT in trouble. E-Blade hits him. They've got the Acorn shot. DY, PYW already gone. JT is out of there. This is the perfect fight for LGD. They take down 4 in a matter of seconds.
Nothing to say has hit his prime. He's level 26, the overwhelming Blink to Shivas. He sees this Magnus for a second, full spell usage onto him. LGD have totally turned this game.
Now, they do have buybacks on the Mag and the Invoker. They would love to not have to use it, but if they jump onto Ghost, I mean, he could get dropped. They literally jump onto him. E-Blade now, the mass buybacks, trying to get there. JT, he's TPing in, but immediately Bushwhack comes out Planet to break it. They do take down Why You Smile.
But it's 3 buybacks.
And now looking for more. They can't find it. JT, he can't find his moment.
They're putting too much pressure onto him. They're jumping in his face, forcing him to use these weird RPs and stuff. BKB on cooldown still for Drow. This fight. Look at JT's positioning, right? He gets caught over here on the left side. You'll see in a second. Nothing to say with overwhelming Blink. It's just causing absolute havoc.
Imagine if those 2 catapults aren't there and he can't see them. It would make all the difference in the world, and this fight looks so different, but nothing to say. With the vision, feels confident going in.
Tinker, you know, this is his specialty. Once you get to these later stages, it's just absolute chaos. Look at the hero damage. 53,000 for this Tinker. Next highest is like 21K.
Just like that.
And now, wrap around.
JT tried to find somebody. Things getting weird again. They find Planet finally. PYW, Paparazzi, they're on top of them. So they do get that pick off.
Okay.
That feels like the first thing that's gone good for Xtreme Gaming in the past 10 minutes.
Just about. They recovered their gem too, so it's a pretty big pick off. Vision could be crucial, especially to protect poor JT, who needs to have everything go in his favor, it feels like, for them to now have his chance to take these next fights.
you know, with Tinker, it almost feels like you're playing a fighting game or something in terms of like the momentum swing, because you can always be on the map. They give you no space to sort of settle down and reset and try and get the game back to neutral again. But they will find one here. So the Hex comes out, the Aeon Disc prop pops the ulti. Do they want to come in and take this fight after? No, it's just to get away.
Yeah, it's so hard versus the Tinker, and nothing to say soon. He's gonna have Bloodstone, so even if they catch him, he's gonna BKB and turn. He's going to get so much spell lifesteal, so much damage onto these supports. And playing without BKB at this point now, I'm wondering if JT maybe wants to switch his build.
Yeah, immediately does it.
Okay. he had Aeon Disc queued, but you can't play Dota versus Tinker without BKB. Like, the supports are just going to evaporate. You're getting hit by overwhelming Blink and Shivas and mini stuns from Rockets too, so I don't blame him for this change. He needs to get BKB to be able to try to get these jumps off now.
9K gold lead into the favor of LGD, and we've got a minute and a half until Roche is capable of respawning. But I mean, it's you can't feel safe as Xtreme, even like playing and knowing that they might play for Roche, because LGD has just been so fast-paced over the last couple of minutes. Buyback status for them, too, by the way. They almost have it back up on everybody for LGD, so they might try and make another run at it here.
They all have so much gold, too, to be able to have those buybacks available. And I think everybody's queuing a Aeon Disc on their side. Planet even has one.
They see him. DY in trouble, wanting to get the tombstone off, gets the pullback. There's one, but the BKB was there. Now the overgrowth comes out. Ghost completely isolated, nothing to say. On top of the rocket missile spam stuns. JT pops that refresher, nothing to say. Aeon Disc procced. LSA out, they get the connection down so low onto that Drow. Do they have enough? It's not looking like it. Drow gets dropped. Does have buyback. JT tries to get out of there, but they keep the damage on him. Ghost turns, starts to punch, and it looks like they're going to be able to maybe run down Jiangyu. Does start to die. Ghost still there. A couple more hits.
Oh no. The RP during the tornado again. He was getting like a 3 or 4 man RP, and it just gets clipped with tornado.
Not what they needed.
That is so grim for XG. PSG.LGD now have a massive window. Drow having to use the buyback after dying. Oh boy.
Yeah, we'll see it here again in a moment.
It's so much pressure because this Tinker's just blinking in their faces. He's trying to get these grabs. Amazing BKB from Shiro. And you'll see in a couple seconds here. Actually, we won't be able to because there's another fight.
Going in on him. Boomerang from downtown. The missile stun. Paparazzi throws out one salvo of the damage. Oh, going to plate. Oh, alive on nothing.
Planet.
Oh, lordy.
Good God. And now BKB's on cooldown for the Invoker as well, so can't actually look to contest in this next fight for 50 seconds.
I mean, the sort of big win here, at least for Xtreme, is that Roche is not going to respond for a minute and a half. They need this time.
But they don't have the buyback on Drow, and on PSG.LGD, they have everybody with buyback available.
Only the Rubik has it ready. Yeah, the swing has really gone completely into the favor of LGD. You just think about how in control Xtreme were and couldn't get that finish onto these buildings.
That's why that fixed, right? They went for this Tinker as this final pick to be able to make sure they have insane scaling, and it took them some time to be able to get it online, but we've now seen these last like 14 minutes or so how explosive and nothing to say can be. He's at critical mass.
Cinder Brew applies fears when ignited.
Yeah.
I've never seen that talent before.
Yeah. Level 25 Brew. The other one is pretty horrible.
Well, they do now ping out and they see on the scan that somebody is in the Roche pit, but it is not the one that they're thinking. As still 40 seconds.
And fighting for XG at this point now in these type of open areas, it's so hard, right? Playing versus this Tinker, your supports just, as we've said multiple times, they just detonate. They can't get into the fight because this Tinker just kills them in seconds. And JT's job is just, it feels borderline impossible.
They smoke out. Smoke did not connect on a Paparazzi. They think that Roche is happening right now. But obviously we know that it is not. And well, sends out that Cinder Brew. Not quite going to connect.
Nothing to say, he's just ready to jump in.
UIW immediately breaks smoke. Now they get the lift, drop it down. JT pulls in one. Yule Scepter bringing him up. Now the control. They get the stun onto Drow. Shiro finding him, but now the turn.
JT
wants to bring him down. JT connects, but needs to blink out of there. Gets the skewer back. Still has one left. DY Still pulling them in further and further, and Shiro,
Okay.
he's going to be gone a bit too far. The full combination is out. Nothing to say there with the defense matrix, but it's not going to be enough. They kill off the Lina. That's the buyback. BKB's used, and the tree dead too. That is double buybacks with Rosh up, and it's the fourth one.
They still have an RP ready too on JT. Nice play there from Paparazzi, finding the opening onto that Lina there for a second. But yeah, the Rosh, it's going to be there for the Lina.
Do they decide to move out again? I mean, it's a hard one to make happen, but with that one RP available, they could go for that magic moment.
Oh, did Shiro cancel his bots into the pit, I think? Something happened there. Either way, he's going to have to walk his way over. So, sometime bot. XG will be able to get out toward that Rosh.
Try and move in and defend against it. Dire scan.
A lot of buybacks used from PSG.LGD. They still have the Tinker one, the important one.
Tornadoes going out there. JT under control, down to half HP, and gone. 2 minutes. XG have to run. They can't fight this right now, I don't think, unless Ghost wants to stand tall.
Nothing to say in.
Go to town. It's dangerous, though. LSA out. He's gone. 2 minutes out, and no mag, no drow. Paparazzi under control. They went to try and contest, but they will be punished, and I think that might be it. As they run down the lanes, LGD, they find it perfect.
They've finally done it. I mean, MVP, nothing to say.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I mean, what a Tinker performance. I mean, when we can in a second, of course, when they're getting this push, we should bring up those damage numbers again, because he's done everything for this team. It's insane. By also protecting his Lina in that top fight, but look at the damage. 71k. This was the last pick that they needed. And yeah, they'll be able to close it out here. Buyback on Mag.
Okay. Oh, Invoker's 300 gold
damage.
away. So close to having it done. In 60 seconds, the Yule Scepter precast. They find the mag. He didn't stand a chance. XG, they're going to go down to LGD. They reign supreme in China. Maybe not with the other teams that are sitting up there on top, but they'll at least take down Xtreme. Whew.
So that can cause now some first place tiebreakers perhaps that could come out here. PSG.LGD have done it. They fixed their draft a little bit. Getting this last pick Tinker, it was beautiful.